So in the previous session, we have discussed about data types, and we have discussed two categories of data types, like primitive data types and the subject data types. And we have discussed what are the various primitive data types that we have in Apex programming and what is subject data types are available. We have discussed. And by using these data types, how to define the variables in Apex programming, we have discussed in the previous session. And we have discussed what exactly a variable, what it indicates, what is the use of variables in Apex programming, and how to define the variables in Apex programming, what is the syntax we used to follow, we have discussed. And we have discussed the various rules and the standards and the naming conventions we used to follow upon defining the variables we have discussed in the previous session. Now, so now today we'll see how to define the variables in Apex programming, what is the syntax we used to follow, and how to assign the values to the variables. We'll see practically one by one. Now, so that already we know variable is nothing but a container. Variable is nothing but a container which contains a value. Okay, which contains a value. That value may be integer, that value may be string, that value may be boolean, that value may be ID, that value may be account record, that value may be either case record, that value may be campaign record, whatever, anything. In order to store a value, we are using the help of a container called as a variable. So variable is nothing but a container which contains a value inside that. Now, so whenever we are defining the variable in Apex programming, we have to specify the syntax. Here we need to indicate access specify. Right now, access specifiers are not required. Just we can ignore this part and specify the data type to indicate what type of value the variable can hold. Because inside the variable, we are going to store some value. Then what type of value this variable can store? Will it store a numerical value, string value, ID value, Boolean value, date value, or account record, case record, lead record, or what? To indicate that we are using the help of data type. So data type indicates what type of data or what type of value the variable can hold inside this. And then optionally, we can specify the value also. That means if you want to assign the value, then we can assign. If you don't want to assign, leave it, no problem. Just we can specify data type, variable name, and then we can specify the semicolon. That already we know in Apex programming language, each statement should be ends with a semicolon. That is a base rule. Not only in Apex programming, it may be any programming language also. This is a fundamental principle. This is a common principle that we have in most of the programming languages, that each statement in Apex programming should be ends with a semicolon. Okay, now, so now in this case, how can we define the variables? Now let's see. For example, I want to define a variable to store a customer code. Now customer code is a numerical value. Okay, customer code is a numerical value. I want to store that customer code value so that I want to define a variable. Now tell me what is a suitable data type for this. Customer code doesn't have any decimal digits, right?
Integer.
Integer. Now, in this case, just we can use the help of integer data type. Through this integer data type, we can store customer code value. That means we can define a variable which can store a numerical value without any decimal digits. Okay, like employee codes, customer codes, product codes. This kind of codes will not have any decimal digits. Straightforward, a numerical number will be there. Now, so in this case, how to define? We can specify the data type, and then I'm giving the variable name, like as customer code. Clear? So I'm giving the data type of the variable here, integer customer code. Understood the concept now? Just I'm defining this variable here. I want to store customer age. Then what type of data type is suitable? Integer. Integer customer age. Right. I want to store the name of a customer. What is the suitable data type?
String.
Character. That means what is the data type here?
String.
Now I'm using customer name. I want to store email ID. String. String email address. I want to store phone number. String. Why this phone number is in string? Okay. Now, whenever we are storing the contact number, we can include our country code also, like plus 91, plus 1, plus 81, plus 61. Like that, we are including country codes also. In that case, country code contains plus character also. That means it's a character. It's a character numerical. That means alphanumerical value. So we need to use the help of string data type. Clear? Now, phone number, fax number values are always string type. Now, sometimes you can raise a question, sir, I want to store 10-digit phone number over here. Even though we can go with that, okay, string type. Why? Because the 10-digit phone number we are writing like this. I'm writing in this US phone number format. In this kind of situation, we are having okay braces, that means character, space, character, hyphen, character, and then we are having that number. So alphanumerical number, so it should be string type. Phone number value, fax number value should be always of type string. Please remember the point here. Okay. Now I would like to store the balance amount of the customer. Balance amount means what? Currency. Currency referencing which data type? Decimal, right? Decimal. Decimal are indicating balance amount. Okay. Next, I want to store the birth date of a customer. What is the data type? Date. Birth date. I want to
Sir,
store
can you repeat the points?
Boolean is active. So now here in this case, whenever we are defining the variables, we are using the syntax like this. We have to specify the data type. We have to specify variable name. Okay, we have to specify the data type and the variable name. So now, in order to store the customer code, I'm using integer type, and then customer age also a numerical, and the customer name will be of type string, email ID also of type string, phone number also of type string. Balance amount means what? What is the current balance amount of this customer in our bank account? So that will be currency. Currencies are always referencing decimal data type. But the date will be of type date type is active, whether the customer is still active or not, whether he's an active customer or not, to indicate that we are using a Boolean data type variable. Clear? Now, so now let's come to the scenario here. I'm defining a variable integer customer code. Now, let me explain. I'm defining a variable integer customer code. So this is the variable which I'm defining here. I'm defining a variable with the name customer code, which is of type integer. So now tell me what this variable indicates here. What exactly this statement indicates? Integer customer code. Just I'm writing this two words of statement over here. What this statement indicates? Basically, this statement will be informing to the Apex compiler. Because this statement will inform to the Apex compiler, dear compiler, user has defined a variable with the name customer code, which is of type integer, which will store one integer value. Now tell me, in order to store this integer value, how many bytes of memory will be required? 4 bytes. There is a fixed size given by Apex programming. Each integer value will occupy 4 bytes of memory. Now, in this case, immediately Apex compiler is going to be reserving 4 bytes of memory. Immediately, Apex compiler is going to be reserving 4 bytes of memory over here. This is the 4 bytes of memory, for example. So now, for example, this is 4 bytes of memory. 4 bytes. So once the 4 bytes of memory has been reserved, now this 4 bytes of memory will be assigning to this variable. This 4 bytes of memory will be assigning to this variable. Now tell me in this variable, in this memory location, what value it will store by default? Integer value. Have I assigned any integer value till now? No, I haven't assigned. If I'm not assigning any value, what is the default value that Salesforce will store? In this case, as part of this Apex programming, by default, Apex will store the default value as null. Salesforce will store the default value as null. That means whenever we are defining a variable inside your Apex programming, if the user did not assign any value by default Apex compiler will store the default value as null. Okay. So now this is the basic principle of Apex programming. Now this basic principle will be different from programming language to programming language. So now here can raise a question. Sir, if it is an integer, it is storing null value. If it is a string, what type of value? Even though it may be any data type variable. It may be integer or boolean or string or decimal or date or ID or account or position, whatever anything, whenever we are defining a variable in Apex programming, if the user did not assign any value, then by default Apex will be assigning the value as null. This is the basic principle. Okay. When you go to some other programming, for example, when you go to JavaScript, it will store the default value as undefined. Undefined is the default value for any variable in JavaScript. But as part of Apex programming, it will store the default value as null. Clear? Understood the concept here? This is the meaning of this statement over here. Okay? This is the meaning of this statement. So whenever we are defining the variable inside my Apex programming by giving the data type as integer, by default, Apex will be assigning the default value as null. By default, it will assign the value as null for this variable here. Okay? Now, make a note of this one. While defining the variable, if the user did not assign any value, then Apex will store the default value as null. Apex will store the default value as null. Make a note of these variables here. Done with this? Done with this? Now, let's see. So let's come to this scenario here. As of now, we have defined the various variables with the different data types. So now when you observe these variables, I have defined two variables of type integer. These are the two variables I have defined of type integer, and then three variables of type string. Now, so in this case, to define these two integer variables, I have written two lines of code. To define these three string variables, I have defined three lines of code. Suppose I want to define 50 variables of type string, like the name of the customer and the designation, company name, email ID, contact number, and then I will fax number, website name, street information. Like that, I want to store so much data so that I'm defining 50 variables of type string. In this case, now tell me every time do I need to define a variable like a string like that? In that case, we are writing 50 times a string like that. Now, in this case here, what can I do? Do we have any chance that we can define multiple variables within a single line? Yes, here also we can do that. Because that already we know in Apex programming language, by writing the code, Salesforce will be counting each and every character one by one, one by one, one by one. So we can write maximum of 60 lakhs of characters code in Apex programming, not more than that. So in this case, don't waste these characters, try to save these characters, try to reduce the number of lines of code, try to optimize this piece of code so that we can occupy less characters, we can write more code so that we can able to reduce the compilation time, execution time, and we can improve the application performance as well. So for that reason, instead of defining each and every variable separately in a separate line of code, I would like to define multiple variables of same type within a single statement here. How to define multiple variables within a single statement? Now let me explain. Now, now in this case, how can we do that? Now tell me how to define multiple variables within a single line. First two variables, customer code, customer age. Both I want to define within a single line. How to do that? Now tell me. Okay, integer,
It is customer code, comma, customer age,
customer code,
comma,
comma, customer
customer
age,
age.
customer age. Next, I want to define these three string variables within a single statement. How to do that?
String,
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 customer name,
customer
customer
name,
name,
comma,
comma,
email address,
contact number, email
email
address.
address.
Now, that means what here? Instead of writing this string multiple times, just I'm writing only one time. So the remaining two times characters we can save. With that token saving, we can able to write some more business logics also. For that reason here, try to optimize the code always. Instead of defining multiple variables in separate statements, we can define multiple variables of same data type within a single statement also. Because customer code also of type integer, customer age also of integer. So I'm defining the variables integer, variable 1, comma, variable 2, comma, variable 3, up to n number of variables we can define within a single statement as well. That facility is available in Apex programming. Clear? Now, make a note of this one. We can define multiple variables of same data type within a single statement as below. Date, birth date, and the joining date. Like that, we can define multiple variables also within a single statement. Done with this? Now, so now in this case here, we have defined multiple variables within a single statement also. Now tell me, have we assigned any values for these variables? No. If I'm not assigning the values, what is the default value? Null, right?
Null.
None.
Even though the variable may be a single or multiple also, upon defining the variables, if the user did not assign any value by default, Apex will store the default value as null. Now, sometimes you can raise a question, sir, I don't want to store null value, I want to assign my own. I want to store the customer code, customer age value, customer name value, email ID value, contact number value. Like that, I want to store the values by my own. How to assign the value for this variable here? Okay, now let's see one by one. As of now, we know how to define the variable. Now let's see how can we assign the values here. Assigning values. Assigning values. How to assign the value for this variable here? Now let's see. For example, let me explain the scenario first. For example, I'm defining a variable, integer customer code. So what is the value stored by Salesforce by default in this variable now? Null value. I want to store some value inside this variable here. How to assign the value? Now let's see. So now whenever we are having a variable some x, when coming to our mathematics here, I have a variable some x. Now in this x variable, I want to store the value some 400. How to store the value generally? How to write that statement in mathematics? X
X
equals
is
to
equals to 400.
400. 400. That means what? Now this is one of the assignment operator here. This equals to is nothing but assignment operator, which will assign the value 400 to x. This is the meaning of this statement over here. So now in this case, once a variable has been getting defined, then we can assign our own value inside the variable with the help of an assignment operator. We are using equality. This is not comparison. For comparison, we are using double equals. Double equals is for comparison, single equals for assignment. To assign some value, we are using the help of this single equals. Okay. To compare the value, we are using double equals here. Okay. Now, so now here in this case, once a variable has been getting defined, then we can assign our own values also for the variable. Then what is the syntax we used to follow? Now let me explain. Then we will see how to assign the values for the variables. Now let's see. Make a note of this one. Once a variables has been defined with the data type, then we can assign the values for the variables as below. Syntax. We can specify the variable name equals to value. For example, I'm assigning the value for the variable here. Now, customer code, I'm assigning the value some 35900021. Customer age, some 34. Customer name, how to assign this customer name value? Customer name will be of type what? String. How to represent the string values? By enclosing in single quotes over here. Okay, that is a representation. For example, some Ramesh Kumar. Now, email address. We are giving that ramesh.kumar123@gmail.com. Balance amount 45,000. Is active equals to 2. String values we have to enclose with single quotes. Remaining values we have to represent directly over here. Done with this? Now,
Firoz,
let's
how
see
the
in this
date
case.
value, sorry, how the date
Now,
value will be assigned?
we'll see. So now in this case here, like for example, as of now what we did, we have defined the variables separately. We have assigned the values separately here. Do we have any chance that we can combine both into a single statement? Variable
Yes, sir.
definition
Yes, sir.
and assignment, both can we
Yes,
do
sir.
within a single
Yes,
statement?
sir.
Yes, we can do that
Yes.
here. Now, in this case here, how can we do that? Okay, now let's see. Make a note of this one. Now, we can define and initialize the variables with the required values within a single statement as below. Then I'm defining like this: integer customer code equals to 348091. Customer age equals to some 32. I'm defining and initializing the variables within a single statement itself here. Not only one, multiple variables also we can define, multiple variables also we can initialize with the respective value within a single statement itself. String customer name equals to some Santosh Kumar. Email address equals to santosh @ some gmail.com. So we can define the variable, we can initialize the variables with the respective values within a single statement also. That facility is available. So you no need to define the variables separately, no need to assign the values separately. Everything we can do within a single statement itself.
Shiroz, how we assign the date variable?
Yeah, I will show you that one. Now, suppose for example, if you want to store the date value, what we can do? Date, I would like to specify the birth date. So birth date of a person almost to the years back date, I need to prepare here. So now, for example, the date of birth of the person is, for example, it will be almost 1990. 1990, okay, February 15th. Then how to prepare this date here? In this case, generally, if I'm writing the date like this, now like 15/02/1990. If I'm writing like this, it will show the error message. Illegal assignment from string to date, it will show that error message to you. Because whenever we are enclosing this value, this will be treating as string type. I'm trying to be storing this string value into data type, which cannot be accessible, which cannot be acceptable because both are not compatible, both are completely different. So that it will be showing the error message, illegal assignment, okay, from string to date. Now for that one, whenever if you want to prepare a date value, it may be past date, it may be future date also, anything, we have to use the help of a class called as date class. Date class. That already told you in the previous session. Date is a data type. That already told you each data type. It may be primitive data type, it may be a subject data type. These data types are nothing but what? Classes, right? These are nothing but the ready-made classes given by Salesforce. So we have a date class because I want to prepare a date. So that go to the date class. Inside this class, we have a method called as new instance, date dot new instance. Date dot new instance. Here we need to specify the date. Upon preparing the date, first of all, pass the year number. Year number is what? 1990. Next month, that is 02. And then date, 15. That's it. This is the format we used to follow. It may be any date, old date, future date, anything we can able to prepare by using, okay, date dot new instance method. Yes, these values we have to separate it by using comma here. Okay. Now, so now in this case, to prepare the date, we have to specify date dot new instance. Here we can specify 1990, 02, 15. Okay, this is how we need to prepare the date value. We have to pass year number and the month number and the date value. Okay. Now, because we are preparing a date format over here, in order to prepare the date format, because the date format is different, string formats are different here. In this case, in order to prepare the date format, we have to use the help of a class called as a date class. In this date class, to prepare a new date value, we are using a method, new instance method. What date you are going to prepare, this is the date I'm going to prepare. So that here we need to specify the year number first, then month number, and then date number. Whenever I'm passing these three values in the same order, now the new instance method will prepare a new date value. The date value will be storing inside but the date variable. Okay. Now, clear up to this one? Feeling comfortable with this? Now, now let's see. Let's take some use cases here. So let's take some small use cases just to define the variables. You no need to assign the values here, define the variables. I will give you the requirement, define the variables for this with respect to data type. Now, first of all, I will explain one requirement over here. Then I will be giving some use cases. You need to work on this. Write an Apex program. Write an Apex program to hold the employee details. Define the required variables to store the employee data. write an Apex program to hold the employee details. Define the required variables to store the employee data. Done with this? Now. So now tell me, generally related to an employee, what kind of data that we can capture? Employee ID, employee name, phone number,
Age,
email ID, age of the
age,
employee,
gender, contact number,
gender also, salary,
salary,
company name,
experience.
designation. Okay, and then we can able to collect his birth date, his joining date also, and whether still the employee is active in this current company or not. Like that, we can capture all these details. Okay, now. So now I'm defining the variables now. So now I would like to define integer, employee code, and the employee age. I'm defining two variables, employee code and the employee age. Okay, both will be of type integer. Next, employee name, that will be of type string. Now, gender, that will be of type string. And then I would like to collect that designation of type string. Current employer, that means current company name, that is also of type string. Contact number, that is also of type string. Email address, that is also of type string. Location, that is also of type string. That means here city name, to which city he is associated. Okay, if you want, we can define some more variables also. It's your choice. Next, now I would like to specify the decimal. Current CTC. I'm indicating this. Next, date, birth date, joining date. I'm defining these two variables. Boolean is active. Whether this employee is still active in this company or not, to indicate that we are using this variable is active here. Okay. Now observe this one. Whenever we are defining the variable names, I have given the meaningful name for each and every variable. I have followed camel case. That means starting with lowercase letter to indicate this is a variable. Clear? Now make a note of this one. So generally related to your patient, what kind of data that we can capture? Patient code,
Patient age,
patient name,
name,
age
gender,
also, gender also,
contact number,
Date of birth.
address,
contact number,
email
email
address,
ID,
education,
disease description also. Okay,
department
doctor name, to which doctor you would like to consult,
Previous
consultation fee for the doctor, appointment date and the time also, and then whether we can
joining date,
specify.
discharge date.
Okay, now in this case we can able to specify the details like whether this appointment with the doctor is confirmed or not. Like that we can able to store all these details. So I want to define those variables. Now let's see. I'm defining the variables. Integer, patient code, patient age. string, patient name, gender, location, contact number, email ID, disease description, doctor name, to which doctor you would like to consult. Next, decimal, consultation fee. Now, date, appointment date, visiting date, time, appointment time, at what time the doctor has given this appointment for you. We can specify the time also, and the boolean is confirmed. So whether this appointment is confirmed with the doctor or not. So we can able to write these variables also. One more use case. Write an Apex program to hold the product details. Define the required variables to store the product data. Write the code for this. Related to a product, we need to collect some details. I would like to store those details inside my variables. So let's see how can we define the variables in order to store the product's data. Generally, upon storing the product details here, like for example, it may be any product, like for example, laptop or mobile or anything. Each product will be having a product code. It will be having a price. It will be having quantity, how many items we are going to purchase. And then it is having a name. It is having a manufacturer. The manufacturer name, location of the manufacturer, contact number of the manufacturer, email ID of the manufacturer. Next, it is having a price. Okay, we can able to store the price of this product here. Next, for each product, you will be having two dates will be available. Manufacturing date, expiry date will be available. Next, we can check whether the product is available in stock or not. Product may be available in stock or may not be available here. Okay, to indicate that we can able to use one Boolean variable. Now, let's see. So I'm defining the variables. Integer, product code, and quantity. String, product name, and I would like to specify the manufacturer name, location of the manufacturer, and then we can specify the contact number, email address. These are the variables. Date, manufacturing date, expiry date, decimal, unit price, that means product cost. Boolean is in stock. Boolean is in stock, whether the product is available in stock or not. So this is how we can able to define the variables. Please remember that here variable name should not have any spaces. Yesterday I have given 5 principles to you, 5 rules to you upon defining the variable. Okay, please follow those rule names. Formula means what? Formula that will be of type string type. We can define it as string. Done with this? Feeling comfortable? How to define the variables? What is the syntax we used to follow? What data types are available? How to use those syntaxes to define the variables? Feeling comfortable till now? Now, next. Next one, operators. So now we have to understand what exactly an operator, what it indicates. As of now, we know how to define the variables, how to store some values inside the variable. So once the values has been stored in the variables, then on those values, how to do some calculations, how to perform some operations. Now let's see with the help of operators. Now, so first of all, we have to understand what exactly an operator and what is the use of this operator and what operators are available in Apex programming, how to use them, we'll see one by one. Now, so now tell me, what do you mean by an operator? How to define an operator? Okay. Okay.
I think any program.
We can have that. Okay, arithmetic operators are available, logical operators are available, relational operators are available, so many operators are available. Then what is an operator? What is an operator?
Operator is nothing but a medium to perform an operation. With operation is nothing but a medium to
Okay.
perform an
If you want to do some calculations or 2 or more
Yeah.
values, we can use operators. Okay, right. Now, suppose for example, assume that I have 2 values are available. I have 2 values. First value is 34,000. Second value is 9,000. Now tell me, these 2 values will be of type what? Integer type. That means a numerical. On numerical values, what kind of operations we can do? Addition,
arithmetic operation.
subtraction, multiplication. These are called as arithmetic operations or mathematical calculations. Now, I would like to perform the addition of these 2 values. What operator do we need to use? Plus.
Yes.
Now tell me, to perform the addition, instead of using this plus, can I use a dollar? No. Can I use a hash? No. Can I use @ symbol? No, we can't use that. There is a standard notation. There is a standard symbol to perform addition operation. So now here in this case, whenever if you want to perform the addition operation on these 2 values, we are using the help of a standard symbol that is called as a plus. As part of mathematics, they have defined this notation plus symbol, which is used to perform the arithmetic operation, that is addition on these 2 values. So now here in this case, to perform the addition operation on these 2, we are using the help of the symbol plus. Now tell me, in this case, these 2 values will be called as what? In this expression, these 2 values will be called as what? These 2 will be called as operands. These 2 will be called as operands. Now this plus symbol is called as what? Operator. Right. Now, so now what this operator is doing over here? Addition. That means some operations. On what? On integers. Those integer values will be called as what? Operands. Now,
Operand.
then how to define this operator now? Operator is nothing but a symbol which can perform certain operations on operands. Operator is nothing but a symbol which performs certain operations on operands. So whatever the values that we have, those may be integer also, string also, date also, boolean also, whatever, anything. Whatever the values that we have, on those values, on those operations, to perform certain operations, we need a symbol called as operator. So simply we can say operator is nothing but a symbol which performs certain operations on operands. Okay. Now, so now as part of Apex programming, we have so many operators are available. In mathematics also we have so many. The same operators we are using here also. But in Apex programming, all the operators has been divided into 5 categories. We have 5 categories of operators available in Apex programming. First one, arithmetic operators. These are also called as mathematical operators. Okay, arithmetic operators are mathematical operators. Second one, relational operators. These are also called as comparison operators. Third one, logical operators. Okay, logical operators. Fourth one, increment or decremental operators. Okay, increment or decremental operators. The fifth one, assignment operators. Okay, assignment operators. These are the 5 categories. We have arithmetic operators, logical operators, relational operators, increment or decremental operators, assignment operators. These are the 5 categories. Then what exactly each category indicates, what operators are comes under each category, we'll see one by one. Okay, now let's see. Make a note of this one, operators. Operator is nothing but a symbol which performs certain operations on the operands. Operator is nothing but a symbol which performs certain operations on the operands. Now, Apex provides the below 5 categories of operators. First one, arithmetic operators. These are also called as mathematical operators. Second one, relational or comparison operators. Third one, logical operators. Fourth one, increment or decremental operators. Fifth one, assignment operators. These are the 5 categories of operators are available. Arithmetic are mathematical operators, relational operators, logical, and then we have increment or decremental, assignment operators. These are the 5 categories. Done? Next. Now let's come to each and every category one by one. What operators are available in each category? First one, arithmetic operators here. These are for what? Generally. Okay, right. To do some basic mathematical calculations. Arithmetic operators are used to perform the basic mathematical calculations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus, like that. These are comes under basic mathematical calculation. Now, in this case, as part of our Apex programming, we are having the various arithmetic or mathematical operators. Like we have plus, minus, that means subtraction, multiplication, division, and the modulus. Generally, modulus will be representing with percentage symbol. But as part of Apex programming language, okay, Apex doesn't support percentage symbol here. To perform the modulus operation, we have to use the help of math.mod. Math is a ready-made class. Math is a ready-made class given by Salesforce which contains all the mathematical functions. Like we are having the basic mathematical functions are also available, trigonometrical functions are also available, logarithmic functions also, exponential functions also, all are ready-made available inside this math class. So math is a ready-made class which contains all the mathematical operation related functions. Now, as part of these functions, we have a function called as mod, which is used to perform modulus. Here we need to specify that values inside that. Okay, these are the 5 arithmetic operators that we have as part of your Apex programming: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and then modulus. For the modulus, we have to use math.mod function. Now, for example, now tell me here, I'm using this value. I'm using the value, okay, 3,500 plus 9,000. What is the result in this case? 12,500. It is representing the result 12,500. Suppose, for example, I'm having a value welcome plus 1955. What will happen? In this case, will it perform any operation? Will it show any compilation error or runtime error or what?
It will throw compilation errors.
I'm using this plus symbol.
Sir, it will concatenate.
Now,
it with us.
in this case, let's see here. Whenever I'm using this a plus symbol, that means to perform that addition. If both the operands of type numerical, that means integer, decimal, long, double, anything. If it is of type numerical, it will do the addition. Suppose if any one of this operand, either the left side one or right side one, or both also, anything, whatever it might be. If any one of this operand is of type string, it will do concatenation automatically. That means depends upon the operands, the operator plus symbol will behave differently. If both are numerical, it will do the addition. If any one is of type string, it will do concatenation automatically. That means side by side will be appending both the values. Now it will represent the value welcome 1955. Okay. Now suppose, for example, I have both are string types here. Welcome India. What will happen in this case? Welcome India. That's it. Why? Because observe this one. When you go to other programming languages to perform the addition, we are using plus symbol. To concatenate the two values, the people are using ampersand symbol here. Okay, they're using ampersand symbol. So two separate operators are using here. For concatenation, they're using ampersand. For addition, they're using the plus. But in Salesforce, they're not using ampersand. They're avoiding this ampersand notation here. To perform addition and concatenation both, we are using plus symbol only here. Okay. Now, next one here. For example, I'm using this one 5 by 2. For example, what is the result here? 5 by 2, 10. Now, math.mod. I'm using 5 comma 2. That means modulus operation also. Then what it
One.
returns over here?
1.
Now, so what is the difference between these two? The division and the modulus. What is the division basically between these two? Long ago we have discussed all these things. Now,
It will display a reminder.
so now here we are dividing this value 5 with the number 2. Whenever I'm going to be dividing this number by 2, now here 2 times it will be completely divisible here. You will be having the value 4. Now you are getting this value 1 as a reminder. Now this value will be called as what? Quotient. This value is quotient value here. This value is called as what? Reminder value here. This is the reminder. Now whenever we are using this division operator will return that quotient value. That means it returns a value 2. Upon using modulus, it returns a value of reminder. Modulus is used to get the remainder value. This is the basic difference. Division and the modulus. Division will be returning the quotient value. Modulus will return remainder value. Okay. Now, in this case, here we are getting the value 2. Here we are getting the value 1. Okay. Now, clear up this one? Next. Next one. Relational operators are comparison operators here. What do you mean by this one? To compare two values. Okay, right. Then what are those relational or comparison operators we have?
And
Equals
or,
to
and
greater than or equals to right. Here we are having that so many comparison operators are available. Like we have less than or equals to, greater than or equals to, equals to, not equals to. Okay. So now single equals is for assignment, double equals for comparison. Okay. Now along with that we have a function called as equals a function. Okay, we have a function called as equals a function. We have equality operator, that means a double equals. We are having this equals a function also over here. Okay, now in this case, it's a common question in most of the interviews. What is the difference between equality operator and equals a function? Both are for same purpose. Equality operator also to check whether the two values are same or not. Equals function also for same to check whether two values are same or not. Then how these two are different here? Whether both are same, both are different. If both are different, how these are different here? Okay, now let's see. So now in this case here, I want to compare two values. Two string values I would like to compare. So now whenever we are comparing the two string values, as part of comparison, we are having two types of comparisons are available here. In every programming language, we have two types of comparisons. First one, text comparison. Second one, binary comparison. Okay, text comparison, binary comparison. Then what is text comparison? How it works? What is binary comparison? How it works? Okay, now let me explain. For example, let me explain the text comparison first, then binary comparison. Binary comparison. So now we have two types of comparisons are available: text comparison, binary comparison. Let me take two values now. For example, I would like to take two values to compare. For example, here I'm taking two values over here. Welcome. Here also welcome. I'm taking these two values over here. So let me take two values over here, welcome and welcome. Two values I would like to take to compare over here. Then how this text comparison works, how this binary comparison works, now let me explain. So now here in this case, let's see. Whenever we are comparing these two string values, then as part of text comparison, first it will be checking that, okay, how many characters are available in each and every string. In the first string, how many characters are there? 7. In second string, here also 7. That means both are having same number of characters over here. Here also 7, here also 7. Suppose in the second string, if I'm having 6 characters, then is this both are same or different? Different. Because here we have 7 characters, here we are having 6 characters. So both are completely different, straightforward. Now, so in this case here, if both the strings are having different number of characters, directly we can say both are different. We no need to compare character by character. Suppose here also 7, here also 7. Both are having same number of characters. Then in that case, it will compare character by character over here. Then how it will compare? Now let's see in this case over here. Now in this case, it will take the first character. It will take the first character over here, W. Here also W. It is comparing these two characters over here. It will take the first character from the first string, first character from the second string also. Both are W. Upon comparing these two as part of text comparison, it won't consider the case. Simply it will ignore the case. Is it uppercase W, lowercase W? It won't bother about that. Okay. In the first string we have W. Second string also first character W or not. Is it uppercase, lowercase? I'm not bothered about that. Is it W or not? That's it. Simply it will compare the two characters without considering any case. Okay. Now, so now here both are same. Here also W, here also W. Then it will take the second character over here. P. Here also second character E. Now it will compare. Both are same. It will take the third character L. Here also third character L. Both are same. Both are same. Next, the fourth character C. Here also fourth character C. Both are same. Next, the fifth character O. Here also fifth character O. Both are same. Next, it will take the sixth character. Here M. Here also sixth character M. Both are same. It will take the seventh character, that means the last one. Here also it will take the last character here. Both are same. Now in this case, these two will be equals. In this case, it is returning the result as both the strings are equals. Okay, both are same. That means identical. Both the strings are identical. Clear? Understood the concept here? It will be comparing character by character over here. First of all, it will check total number of characters in both the strings. If both the strings are having same number of characters, then it will digging into the comparison character by character over here. This is the functionality of text comparison. In text comparison, upon comparing these two characters, it won't consider any case, simply it will ignore the case. Okay? Now, next, the second one. Binary comparison, how it works. As part of this binary comparison, here also, it will check total number of characters. Here, how many characters are available? 7. Here also 7. So both the strings are having same number of characters. So it needs to digging into that, okay, strings, it has to compare character by character. Now in this case, it will take the first character over here. W. Here also first character W. It will collect the first character here, W. Once the character has been collected, it will collect ASCII code of this character here. ASCII code. It will collect the ASCII code of this character. It will collect the ASCII code. It will collect the ASCII code of this character. So whatever the keys that we have inside our system's keyboard, for each and every key, we are having an ASCII code. We have an ASCII code is available here. For each and every character, we are having this ASCII code. Like for example, if it is a small a, it is having the value 96 or 97. Small b, 98. Small c, 99. Small d, 100. Like that here. If it is a capital A, it is having some 65. Capital B, 66. Capital C, 67. Like that here, for each and every character, we are having a separate ASCII code is available. Now, it will collect the first character, it will collect that ASCII code. Now, just you can go to the Google also, we can verify. ASCII code. ASCII code chart. Just you can go to this ASCII code chart also over here. We can able to see that. Now, the ASCII code chart is available here. So now for capital A, this is the value here. Capital A, 65. Capital B, 66. Capital C, 67. Like that here, we are having a separate, each and every character is having the value. When you go to that small a, It is having the value small a 97, small b 98, small c 99. Like that, we are having each and every character values available. Now we need to collect that ASCII value of that capital W. Capital W ASCII value is what? 87. Small w ASCII value 119. Okay, right. It will collect this. This is capital W ASCII code is 87. This is a value 119 here. Okay, it will collect this ASCII value. Once the ASCII value has been getting collected, these ASCII values are decimal values. These are into decimal format. It will convert these ASCII values into binary format. Binary format means what? Zeros and ones. Now let's go to this Google here. We will be having this converters. Binary, sorry, decimal to binary. Just you can click on this decimal to binary converter. Now from decimal to binary, enter the value 87. Click on convert. Now it is indicating this a binary value over here. I'm collecting this a binary value. So this is the binary value of this content. Okay, this is a binary value. We are collecting the binary value. Here also it will collect the binary value. 119. For 119, what is the binary value? Let's see. Click on convert. This is the binary value. Now we are placing this. It will collect that binary value. What happened? Now. So now here we are having these values. Now we have these ASCII values. ASCII values are into the decimal format. We are converting these decimal values into binary over here. 87 we are converting into binary. 119 also we are converting into binary here. Once it is collecting these values, now it is going to be comparing these binary values over here. It will take the first value over here. 1, here also 1. It will collect both the values here. It will compare. Is this both the values are same or not? Same. Next, it will collect the second value over here. 0. Now here it will collect that second value over here. Now it will compare both. Is both are same or different? Different. So both are different here, then automatically it will represent this value here. Both the values are different. Okay, both are different. This is how text comparison and the binary comparison works. Now what we have observed in text comparison, uppercase letter, lowercase letter both are same. In binary comparison, okay, uppercase letter, lowercase letter both are different over here. Clear? Now tell me in this case, for example, I have a login screen. In this login screen, we are entering username and the password. We are clicking on that login button. Now tell me from these two values, which value will be compared by using text comparison, which value will be compared by using binary comparison. Username will be of type what? Text comparison. That means username you can enter in uppercase, lowercase, combination, no problem. But password will be binary comparison. Exact character case we need to follow here. So depends upon your requirements here. Whenever we are comparing your object IDs, record IDs also, always we have to follow binary comparison. Don't use text comparison. In this case here, as part of our Apex programming, as part of this comparison operators, we have this comparison operator. Whatever the equality operator that we have, it is going to be supporting text comparison. Now, so whatever the equals to function that we have, equals to function, it will be supporting binary comparison. This is the difference. Okay. So now it's a common question in most of the interviews, difference between equality operator equals to function. Then simply we can say both are used to compare whether two values are equals or not. But in that case, so equality operator will use a text comparison where it won't consider any case upon comparison. When coming to the equals function, it will use binary comparison internally where it is going to be comparing two characters by collecting their ASCII values by converting them into binary formats over here. So uppercase letter, lowercase letter both are different in binary comparison. Okay, clear? Now here just you can make a note of this one here. Equality operator, it uses text comparison. Now here you can specify it uses binary comparison. Now, we have discussed two categories of operators as of now. We have three more categories we'll see in next session. Okay, next session will be on Monday again here. This weekend we don't have the session. Okay, so go through this information today. On Monday we'll see the continuation features, the remaining operators, and then we'll see the concept of output statements, and then how to write the code in Salesforce, where to write the code, how many ways are available to write, how many ways are available to execute. We'll see the practical concept from there onwards. Okay, thank you.